Hi, welcome to the new module where we will be discussing about asynchronous programming. So, if you are new to this concept, you might be thinking, what is asynchronous? If you see closely, simply in a normal way of writing codes, codes are being executed line by line, that is from top to bottom, and until one function complete execution, the next function has to wait. So it will wait until that line of code is executed, and then only it will go to the second line. But in asynchronous programming, we mention the functions which may take time to execute and wait for the completion in background without stopping the execution of the next piece of code. In this way, parallel execution of code is achieved. So simply just assume that you are uploading some file to the database, to the server. So till that the file may be big and it may take some time to execute. So in while that file is being uploaded, you can also surf, browse, or do some other things in the app. So you don't have to wait till it completes 100%. So this is one example. There are different examples as well. So when we will do it practically, so then at that time your doubts or concepts will more clear and you will understand it properly. That's it. So when we talk about asynchronous programming in Dart, the two terms that come to our mind are futures and streams. So these are the two way of types of asynchronous programs, you can say. We will discuss it one by one. First, we will discuss what is a future. So, a future is simply what its name is. That is, the data will come after some time in future. Imagine we will ask for some data from database and the result will be returned after few seconds. So definitely when you start your Instagram app or Facebook, it takes 1 or 2 seconds to refresh your feed. So that time you might be able to do something, but or you may not. It's up to them. But that is one example of future. That is, the data will come in the near future, and it's a guarantee that something will come from the end. That either it's a data or it's a null. If there is no data, you just have to remember the concept. That's it. So now we are understood what are futures. It's time we'll know how to define a future. A future is defined exactly like a function in Dart, but just we use future as a prefix. Prefix you can say as the data type, return type. If you want to mention the return type of the function, then you can write as future, then type. Either that function is returning some kind of string, boolean, or void. That is, it's not returning anything, but it will be doing something. That's it. Now we know how, what are futures, how to define a future. Now it's time we also know how to use a future in our program. There are two ways to execute a future: using then catch and using async await. So future events are usually network request, HTTP, or input output operation. That is, from your own device it will save something or it will retrieve something. But here we will simulate or fake a network request by using future.delayed, which will help us to understand the concept without calling an actual API at this moment. Because in the next module, we will be working with real data which will be coming from a dedicated API. At that time, also, we will be using futures, but for the purpose of understanding the concept, we will just fake or simulate that scenario in our application. This future dot delayed takes two argument inside it. So to execute it, we have to pass two arguments. First is duration, which will specify how much time it will take to execute. And second argument is a function that should execute after the time duration is finished or is completed. Now, enough with the theory portion. You might be thinking, okay, I have understood something, but there will be a lot of doubts. To clear those things, bring out your text editor. In the lib file, I will create a new file of future screen dot. Here, import material as always. Have a stateful widget of future screen, then simply scaffold app bar. In the title, I will just give future tutorial. Okay, now in the body, let's have a center widget. Then child have an elevated button. And in the text, you can simply say click here. That's it. Now go to the main and make that future screen your default screen, default main file. Okay. Yeah, we have this page. Now what we will do is we will create a function which will be a future. Now simply create a future void. It will not return anything for now. Then give it a name of get data, and then what we can do is use future dot delayed method. See, future dot delayed method to fake a network call. Now here the data should appear after 3 seconds. And what should happen here, what should be done is it should print, hey, it's Flutter developer. Because here the first argument was a duration and the second argument was a function that should execute after this future dot delayed, yeah, timer is done, that is 3 seconds. And the next line of code we will write here is random line of code. Just imagine, just remember this thing. And since it's a future, it should be asynchronous. We have to write async there. It's it's a thing that you have to remember all the time, that The Flutter should know that this function is an asynchronous function. That's it. Now copy this get data and in the on press execute it. Now just save. Also, if you want, you can have a in again two futures. Just for the sake of understanding, I will give it 3 seconds and the below one 2 seconds. If you are getting confused, you can just pause the video and try to understand the code again and again. Okay. Now, if we see our code from top to bottom, here user ID should come first. Then this hey it's Flutter developer, that is the user's data, and then this random line of code is in at the last line. But when we click on the button, see, the first thing that gets executed or that printed out was random line of code. Then the hey it's Flutter developer, and lastly the user ID. So you can see that futures, what is a future? That is, it will take some time of 2 or 3 seconds, but after that the value, we will get the value or the code will get executed, but it doesn't stop. So that was the thing, that it didn't wait for the 3 seconds to execute, or it just went directly to the print random line of code and it just executed that line of code. So this is running asynchronously, but there is one issue. That is, the username should be fetched only after user ID. That means we should wait for one function to execute. Just imagine if this is your Instagram app, then before when the app is calling the database for the user's information or the user ID, after that only the home screen should appear with those details. Yeah, without the details, it should wait and shouldn't go to the next line. For that purpose, we use this then catch. So using this then catch means after this duration or this futures is completed, then only do the second line of code, or then only do the second thing. So just wait and try to understand. Dot then is attached to the very end of the function. So here, before this semicolon, I will just click dot and then see there are few things and we will use dot then. So what it means is, first the future should execute and it will take 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, when this print is done, then only go to this line of code. That's it. And then catch error means if while executing this function, if some error or something went wrong, then we should for now print that error. But Usually we give a feedback to the user using a snack bar or some alert box. So if you remember the previous output, it was random line of code at first, then hey it's Flutter, and then user ID. But now we want the user ID, or this random line of code will execute first, because this is a future and it will take some time. So it will not wait and go directly. But you can see in this output that the user ID, we have the user ID, and then only we have the user's detail. So we have successfully conducted or wrote a future function in Flutter, and also learned how to wait or how to use the then catch error while working with futures. I hope you have understood the concept. If you have some more doubts, I will suggest you to just have patience and wait, because in the next 2 or 3 modules, by the end of the 3 modules, definitely you will have all your doubts clear, because this is just a very dummy example. But when we will be building real application, you will think, okay, for this is the reason while you are learning these things, or this is the case scenario for .10. So that's it. In the next session we will be talking about this we will be talking about this async and await, because using dan catch and using async and await does the same thing, but their way of writing code is different. That's it. Hope you practice and you are practicing a lot. See you in the next video.